Saquon Barkley was the focal point of the Eagles' offense last season, so should we expect that to change with Kevin Patullo taking over as the offensive coordinator? Bryce Huff, MIA, and OTAs, why that may be the case by the entire season. We explore the Eagles' options with their edge rusher. And Nick Sirianni got to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and now one Eagles fan is paying tribute to the Eagles head coach in a very unique way. You don't want to miss that story coming up as we welcome you here to Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL, alongside Barrett Brooks. I'm Amy Fadul, and what is this time of year like for some of those new guys on the roster? Barrett, obviously you played in the league a very long time, but take us back to when you were first kind of getting into the league in these OTAs.
Well, trying to get your feet wet, trying to learn what this NFL experience is all about, especially when you're a rookie. You're getting into town. You understand that, hey, I'm on a team that just won a Super Bowl, higher expectations. You're trying to think, am I going to make the roster? Trying to, see who's doing what, and, just truly trying to learn what it is to be a pro.
All right, with more on the Birds and those OTAs, we check in with Ashlyn Sullivan.
The Eagles open up OTAs this week, and the attendance from the Super Bowl champions was definitely impressive for a voluntary practice in June. And new Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo has a lot of tools to work with to make this offense click yet again.
My approach, right, is put the players in the best position they can to be successful. And then that's what it comes down to. You want to make sure they're confident in everything that they can do, and you want to be confident as a coach that you put them in that position so that they can go out there and do their best.
Kevin Patullo spoke about the sigh of relief after hearing tight end Dallas Goedert would return for another season. Some unsteady contract negotiations led to a done deal where we saw Dallas Goedert targeted multiple times during Eagles open practice. The 8-year veteran ready to take another leap.
I'm really excited about this year. Obviously, I'd love to play my entire career in Philadelphia, but, I'm not too worried about that. I'm excited to see what happens this year, excited to, put up a really good year.
We all want a more balanced passing attack in 2025. Well, Dallas Goedert certainly will be able to help with that. But what about Kevin Patullo saying he is tailoring the offense to his best players? The Eagles' most explosive player on offense is still running back Saquon Barkley, who, yes, will still be getting his carries.
Yeah, he's been great. He looks like the same guy. It's unbelievable how he's able to do that and continue to go day in and day out. And he looked in, regular season mode yesterday running routes, so it was pretty cool.
And free agent acquisition running back A.J. Dillon also looks like a force to tackle in the open field from what we saw at OTA. So expect this Eagles running game to be clicking once again in 2025. Reporting for NBC Sports Philadelphia, I'm Ashlyn Sullivan.
Thanks so much, Ashlyn. That brings us to our three-point stance, brought to you by Toyota. First up, the Eagles offense is still going to run through Saquon Barkley. The Eagles threw the ball less than any team in the league last season, relying heavily on the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year, and rightfully so. The guy really racked up the yards, went for the record, we know.
Absolutely.
Doesn't sound like they're going to dial that back, though, B.
Why should they?
Yeah.
At this point, you got to go where your bread is buttered at. He is by far the best player on the offensive side of the ball, and he proved it last year, and I think he'll prove it this year also. It just might not be the capacity of that many yards rushing as he, when you look at it. He is a very gifted player, a great offensive line. Why stop? You know what I'm saying? Why, it'd be like, bumping your head for no reason. He is by far the best running back in the NFL, and why not use him? So I can see him going out there and really being the same guy out there. And Kevin Patullo, he understands that. So he's going to use him, undoubtedly. He's going to use him. The offensive line is going to let him know that they're going to want to use him. But he's got to open up the offense. He has to make sure that they, get it out to those weapons on the outside. And the NFL is also taking those, what happened last year, and they won a Super Bowl because there's running ability. They're going to go to stop that. They're going to fill the box up and make you throw the ball. And just so happens we have a good quarterback and get the ball out to those big-time receivers on the outside. 2,500
yards. It's just remarkable to even see it again.
Crazy.
2,500 yards.
Yes.
All right, our second stance, Quinyon Mitchell is going to be a perennial All-Pro. Nearly, he was the Defensive Rookie of the Year last season, finished second to the Rams' Jared Verse. Take a listen to Mitchell yesterday on how he's hoping to improve.
After the season, I just watched the tape with my cornerbacks coach, Coach CP, and just looking at it, I just got a lot to grow. I got a lot to work on. So it's just a race to get better each and every day. Yeah, just all aspects, technique, ball skills, tackling, just stuff I feel like every football player needs to work on. So just getting better.
He's got a lot to work on, too. I mean, come on. You got a lot to work on, too. I appreciate the humility there from Quinyon Mitchell, but, I mean, I know that he wants to hone those skills and be better, but how much better do you think? It seems like he's just scratching the surface.
Absolutely. You say scratching the surface. He's definitely doing that. He understands that, he learned what it is to be an NFL pro last year. He has great technique, number one. I mean, he knows how to play the game. He has athleticism, speed, and he can play this game. But I think the biggest thing that makes him and sets him apart and makes him one of the best players I've seen in the quarterback position probably since Revis is his want to be great, his will to be great. What he talked about just then, going and watching tape with his coach, making sure he's taking, the things he didn't do as well and make them a strength for him as opposed to, not working out as good as he wanted to last year. He didn't have, he had one pick last year. That's something he's going to have to correct because he wants inside to be one of the best cornerbacks. And how do you really, judge what a cornerback is? By how many picks he has. So he's going to go out there, probably challenge receivers more. But as far as him being out there one-on-one on an island, you ain't got to worry about it. He'll stay out there and you'll be fine for his half of the field. He'll do great there. So, that's the biggest thing. His ability to go out there, number one, his intangibles. But number two, he wants to be great. Internally, he wants to be the best cornerback in the NFL.
You mentioned Darrell Revis and Revis Island. He got the Revis treatment. They just stopped throwing at him.
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't even go near him.
And that's because they weren't open.
Exactly. Okay, we're not going to throw over there because we're not going to get intercepted.
All right.
Third stance, Bryce Huff will not be an Eagle this season. Huff was not at yesterday's OTA session. Today, the Inquirer's Jeff McClain reported that Huff hasn't attended any offseason workouts. McClain does not expect Huff to be a part of the team this season. So this was obviously a big talking point this offseason and really all of last year. He had not lived up to the expectation. You wondered where he fit in with Vic Fangio. Do you expect Huff to be on the Eagles this year?
I actually don't. I don't see him being, I don't think that he's one of Vic Fangio's guys. And, Vic wants a guy that's more complete. He wants a guy that can stop the run, get penetration up the field on run plays and set the edge. He didn't want to do it or didn't have the ability to do it, so I think he becomes the odd man out in that outside or edge rusher capacity. He's just not going to be a guy that they want in a locker room because they don't want him to get hurt. They're going to try to trade him, and he might have something. He might, be a guy that they can trade, have some worth out there on the open market. They may have to eat a little bit of the salary, but I mean, I've seen this happen before. I've seen it happen plenty of times before where players get the money, then turn around, don't work out for them at this team and say, all right, instead of you just coming in and wasting our time, wasting your time, how about we'll find somebody, to trade you for, or we cut you at this certain point of time. We just don't want you here getting hurt. And that's the big thing. We don't want you here, putting us in a position where we had to pay you because you got hurt doing something here that we don't want you to do.
Surprised he hasn't come to any of the offseason workouts?
No, I'm not surprised at all. It's probably a mutual agreement. Hey, I don't want you to be here. I don't want to be here. So, hey, let's just part ways and gracefully and understand we can go out there and show that you can play and, get a fair market value for you.
You just got to play somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Let's check out the playbook presented by Supercuts. Here's what's on tap for our show. On the other side, John Clark joins us in the Birds Lounge for more on this Eagles squad for 2025. Will the NFL take away one of the Eagles' biggest advantages and remove the ability to add void years on contracts? We'll discuss that. Plus, who will ultimately win the right guard job for the Eagles? Nick Sirianni also honored by one Eagles fan in one of the wildest ways possible. We're going to introduce you to baby Sirianni coming up. This is Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL.